PowerSchool is my learning management system and student information system. Stay tuned at the end of the show to learn about an upcoming webinar about measuring what matters. Virtual Valentines, how to get ready now, and other projects. This is episode 237. Now, the project we're talking about today is free and run by teachers, and it does have a time when you have to sign up. So tell everybody you know, February 2nd is that date. Do check the show notes at coolcatteacher.com/e237. We always take the show notes and put them at the episode number. So check that out and enjoy the show.
The 10-Minute Teacher Podcast with Vicki Davis. Every weekday, you'll learn powerful, practical ways to be a more remarkable teacher today.
Today, we're talking with Micah Brown, an instructional technology specialist in Kansas, and we're going to talk about virtual Valentines and lots of other ways that you can connect and collaborate with other classrooms. Micah, tell us, what are virtual Valentines?
Virtual Valentines are an amazing way for you to get yourself and your students plugged in with other classrooms around the world.
What will classrooms be doing with a virtual Valentine?
Well, with a virtual Valentine, it's a project, myself and some of my amazing super teacher friends. And what we do is we put a platform out there for you to get some ideas of how to make virtual Valentines with your students. We love digital tools like Buncee and Green Screen, Adobe Spark. You basically make a Valentine with your class. You can make it as a whole group. You can make it, have your students make them individually, and then just share that love on social media. But you can also go an extra step, which is my favorite step, and that is connecting with another classroom via Skype. You can take that step and share your Valentine either live or with video messaging so that you can learn about each other's communities. It's an awesome way to get connected.
What grade levels are going to be participating in the Virtual Valentines project that you and Diane Smokorowski, we all are Mrs. Smoke, we've had her on the show before, and Darcy Grimes. What grade levels are you guys organizing?
That's the really cool part about it. We are encouraging all grade levels, pre-K through 12th. We even had some pre-service teachers participate last year with Jed Derryberry. It was fantastic. So all grade levels are most welcome. One of the things I'm most excited about is that we're adding a new spin to this project this year. We will be adding the tool Flipgrid. So even if you're not very comfortable with holding a live conference call via Skype or Google Hangouts, the cool thing about Flipgrid is you can record video messages with your kids. So maybe your students have created an amazing Valentine, and you can record them saying Happy Valentine's Day and have them tell a little bit about themselves and their communities. One of the big plugs that we would love to know is how many miles away you are from different people. So we've got a little math going, some social studies. So there's all kinds of different content areas and ways that you can participate with your students.
So they need to sign up by February 2nd. Is that right?
Yes, it's coming up.
We will put the link to that in the show notes for how to sign up. Micah, when you're describing this, pretend that I'm a teacher getting ready to sign up. What are the things my students are going to learn by creating and sharing virtual Valentines with other kids?
It's kind of twofold. One of my jobs is to kind of make teachers a little bit nerdy on the side. So what we like to do is we like to put together some digital tools for them to create the Valentines, and at the same time do some research and create some geographical awareness by connecting with other classrooms, either Skype or Google Hangout or Flipgrid. Create that cultural understanding.
So is it kids all over the world?
Yes, last year we had over 400 classrooms in 27 different countries.
Let's say that I'm a teacher and I'm not super comfortable with technology. I mean, I've used Skype just a little bit and, Google Docs maybe a little bit. Is this something that I can do?
Absolutely. What we've done for this project is we've actually created 2 levels. We would love everyone to be able to connect with different classrooms via, a Skype call. But some people aren't just comfortable with that yet, and that's okay. That's why we've created 2 levels for you. We have level 1 and level 2. Level 1, this gives your students the ability to create that virtual Valentine, with whatever digital tool that you're most comfortable with, and then share with others via social media and Flipgrid. Those are 2 digital tools that you don't have to feel the pressure of being on a live call. What's awesome about Flipgrid as well is it's really easy to use. Twitter is just as easy as posting a picture of your student's Valentine. So we have level 1 for those people that aren't quite comfortable yet, and that's okay. We still want to feel your global virtual Valentine love. And then we have level 2 for those people that are ready to take it up to the next nerd level. And if you're a little nervous, that's okay, because once you register for the project, we're going to give you a link to our special Facebook group so that you will be linked up with other teachers and the project creators to give you that extra support that you might need. Maybe you've only used Skype once, with maybe your grandmother over the holidays. Well, we can take you through a test call. We can help make sure that your technology is all set up and ready to go, and so that you can share your students' awesome creativity. So we are really excited about the supportive Facebook group that we have going.
Cool. So, Micah, is it free?
Totally free. That's in my price range as a teacher.
Yeah. Back in December, you did the Gingerbread STEM community and makerspace. And then you've got something else coming up in May. Tell us about some of the things going on all year long.
Sure thing. Like you just mentioned, December, we did the Gingerbread STEM Community Challenge. This is a project near and dear to my heart. It started in my 2nd grade classroom over 5 years ago. And I don't know about you, Vicki, but sometimes there are some units I'm just tired of teaching. I have to teach to these standards and things, but man, if I'm bored with it, I know my students are too. And so I was just, not dreading, but yeah, kind of dreading teaching the communities unit 5 years ago. And so I was still in the classroom, and my mentor, Mrs. Smoke, Diane Smokorowski, I said, hey, I really need some creative juices from your brain. Like, what can we do, to make this project or to make this unit better? And so together we dreamed up this project. And so my first year, I had the students, we talked about goods and services and just really focused on our community. We wrote persuasive essays about what things should be included in our community. And then I let them know that we were building a gingerbread community. So then they had to make blueprints that matched what their essay said so that they could build it into our community. They became architects. This replaced my holiday party. We brought the parents in, and my students built their gingerbread community. They had to become historians and write facts to share with others. The next part made me a little nervous. The kids were so into it, but Mrs. Smoke, she pushes you to the next level. And she said, what if we had other classes do the same thing? And then let's hold a Skype call to compare your communities. I was like, oh, that sounds amazing, comparing and contrasting and working on their speaking and listening. But man, it just makes me really nervous. So she said, oh, no, I'll be there to hold your hand and get you through this. And so with her help, my students were able to connect with classes representing the different types of community, urban, rural, and suburban. So we live in a suburban community. And so we actually got to Skype. It was wonderful because my mom also taught 2nd grade at the time, and she lives in an urban area. And so with Mrs. Smoke's help, my students were able to Skype with my mom's 2nd graders and compare our gingerbread communities. We took them on a little virtual tour by, panning the camera around, and you could just hear the oohs and ahs. And then the students were able to ask each other questions about their communities. And that's when the magic came alive. I saw my students glued to the screen and asking deeper questions that I couldn't have ever done without the Skype experience. So it just really enhanced that learning. We also were able to speak with a rural community in Canada. And so, you hear an accent and the kids are like, oh, and it was amazing. And so just with those 3 calls, I was pleased with the idea of, making blueprints and building a gingerbread community and replacing my holiday party. But the Skype really opened my eyes, and what Skype and, global collaboration opportunities can do for you and your students, what powerful learning can occur. It wouldn't have been able to occur. I could have, had them, my mom teaches second grade in an urban community. What does that mean? But what happened is what I call the Moby effect. Vicki, are you familiar with Brain Pop?
Yes, but go ahead and share.
We love Brain Pop in my classroom. And, Moby is awesome. He's the robot there. And I could teach about a concept over and over and over. But as soon as I showed the little clip of Moby, it was gospel. And that's how I feel about when students connect on Skype. They are hearing from authentic sources. And it means so much more to them learning from, that expert or that person in the community than I could have ever said. Do they listen to what I say? Do they learn from me? Well, yes, that's my job, but it makes a deeper impression with them. And so we like to celebrate the Moby effect whenever we Skype.
So teachers, there's a lot that we can pull from this. Now, these teachers have lots of projects that go on throughout the year. They are free. And the other thing that I love, Micah, is how you said that Mrs. Smoke just kind of held your hand and took you through it and encouraged you and said, I'll be right here with you. And that is really how change happens. We can't push somebody up a ladder, but we can hold their hand and be with them and try stuff together. And I think that's what makes great educational change and transformative teaching as we learn how to use technology in a non-threatening way. So this has been fantastic.
Absolutely, because it can be scary. And I think sometimes we need to give ourselves permission to ask for help, and then also permission to be okay with things not going right, or, that awful word, failure. It's okay. And sometimes we need to model that for our students in a safe environment and in a safe way. And so when you find your teacher super friends, hold on to them and don't be afraid to ask for help. They're happy to help.
Sign up for the Virtual Valentine Project. Do check the show notes for this and get out there and be remarkable. And remember that the modern 21st century teacher is a connector. We connect our classroom with the world. On January 31st, join a free webinar about preparing students for success and measuring what matters. Jared Cotton, a superintendent from Virginia, will be sharing on that webinar. Just go to coolcatteacher.com/what matters and learn more. I use and enjoy the PowerSchool Learning Management System to help blend my classroom and measure what matters. Check out PowerSchool and their unified classroom today.
Thank you for listening to the 10-Minute Teacher Podcast. You can download the show notes and see the archive at coolcatteacher.com/podcast. Never stop learning.